So this one is January 2019. The first one, an object has an acceleration of 6 meter per second square at an angle of 32 horizontal. Which of the following expression give horizontal component? So acceleration is also a vector quantity. So we can resolve the vector quantity into component. If the acceleration is 6 meter per second square and it was making angle theta 30 degrees. So always remember, because the angle with horizontal is given, so horizontal component will be written with cosine or cos theta, and the vertical component is written with sine. So it will be a u or a cos theta, so it will be 6 cos 30, and the vertical component will be equal to 6 sine 30. So which of the following expression give the horizontal component of acceleration? So it will be equal to 6 cos 30, which is A. The question 2, the graph of a stress against a strain is plotted for a steel. Which of the following is equal to Young's modulus? Stress strain graph, the gradient up to the two things are the limit of proportionality or elastic limit. Elastic limit means after this point the object does not return back to the same origin, like till this point the object will return back to the same original length. After that it does not. So its elastic limit point will be there where it start to be curved. But limit of proportionality, the last point where the line is straight, that is the limit of proportionality. So we always take a gradient within the region where it is a straight line. So that D will be the right answer. In question 3, the work surface made from a marble. Marble is suitable for this because what is the reason why the work surface made up of a marble? Because marble is a hard material, does not deform or it's difficult to scratch. So see, whenever if it is difficult to make a dent or make a scratch or scratch the surface, we call that as hard. Brittle means a small amount of force can break the object. A ball is thrown vertically upward with the initial velocity of 20 meter per second. The equation of a motion is used to calculate the time for a ball for a displacement of 15 meter. Which of the following expression shows the correct substitution of the appropriate values? Because if the ball is launched upward, we have the formula S is equals to ut plus half at square, because the displacement is mentioned. The displacement is 15. Initial velocity is 20. The final velocity will be, if it maximum height, it will be 0. And the time interval is t. So we can use the formula S is an acceleration, because it is moving against the gravity. So acceleration is due to gravity, which is minus 9.8. So S is equals to ut plus half at square. So u is 20. So we'll substitute u is equal to 20. T is the time plus half. Acceleration is due to gravity minus 9.8, and time is t square. So it matches with option C. In question 5, quantities can either be a scalar or a vector. Which row on a table is correct? So vector quantity, density is a scalar quantity, and velocity is a vector quantity. So it is option C. A toy car moves down a slope and 1.5 joules of gravitation potential energy was transferred. The toy gained 1.2 joules of kinetic. So it means 0.3 joules of energy is wasted as a heat energy or internal energy. Which of the following could be used to calculate the work done? Basically what happened, like it will have a potential energy at this point. A GP is there, or a potential energy, which is 1.5. When it is rolling down, the potential energy changes to kinetic energy, which is 1.2. So remaining energy transformed as a heat. So how we will use? We'll use a conservation of the energy, that potential, the total energy is conserved, it changes on its form. So initially the potential plus work done against the friction plus kinetic energy. So how we can calculate the work done against the friction? By using the principle of conservation of energy. Why not force into distance? Because the distance is not given here. That's why we cannot use, a force is not given. The diagram shows two vectors. Which of the following correct way to determine the resultant? So we'll use either you can use a parallelogram method or a triangle method. If you are using a triangle method, you will draw the first vector, then you will draw the second vector from the first. And what about the resultant? Resultant is from tail of the first to the head of the last. That is a resultant. So this one, it matches with D. So D is the right answer for this one. Which of the following is the correct unit for a stiffness? Stiffness is a spring, like value of a K, we can also say. And we can also use the stiffness or calculate the stiffness by using a stress over strain. And what about the strain? Either it can be Newton per meter. And what about Newton? Newton itself is kilogram meter per second square. They've divided by meter. Meter will cancel with meter. So it will be kilogram divided by second square. This will go in numerator. So it will be kilogram second minus 2. So B will be the right answer. So stiffness also refers to the spring constant or value of K. Higher value of a K means stiffer spring will be difficult to deform. A stationary uniform ladder lean against the smooth wall as shown on the ground. Which of the following diagram shown the forces acting on the ladder? So free body force diagram represent all the forces which are acting on the object. So first thing, weight of the ladder will act downward. There will be a normal contact force from the ground that is acting upward. There will be a normal contact force from the wall that is acting perpendicular, so towards the right. And because the ladder tend to slide down on the ground, so there's also a friction which try to oppose its motion. So these are the forces which are acting on this ladder. So it matches with option C. So representing all free body force diagram represent all the forces which are acting on the object. And the question 10, a particle is falling through a fluid with a terminal velocity. Which of the following statement is correct? The particle is accelerating. Terminal velocity means constant velocity. If an object is moving with a constant velocity, there is no acceleration. Velocity of a particle is 0, that is wrong. It is moving, so it will have some velocity but constant. The resultant force on the, there is a resultant force, that is also wrong, because if there is a resultant force, the particle should accelerate, not move with a constant. And there is more than one force acting, that is true, because if there was only one force acting on the particle, it cannot never be in move with a constant speed. So there should be more than one force acting on the particle so that they can balance out each other. So D is the right answer.